Okay, so with the anniversary behind us, you know what I'm saying, and the invitational that happened with Konami recently, the game's been getting pretty popular. You're gonna have a lot of people Googling decks and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, trying to get into the game. And a deck that I feel like a lot of people should play, you know what I'm saying, for fun, is Galaxy Eyes, or Galaxy Photon, whatever you want to call it. This is pretty much my favorite archetype in the game. It's not my favorite deck in the game, because as a deck, it's actually not that great. It's just fine. We are going to get support from the TCG set Photon happen over in a while. We're not going to get it for... We're still a ways off from it, but, you know, as of right now, this is pretty much what the list looks like. This video is pretty much just going to be me showing how you can use the deck and all that, all the pretty much all the routes you can go. Obviously, this is a very this isn't the best version of the deck, but it's also not the worst either. But there is some pretty cool stuff this deck can do that not many people know about. It's not the most complicated deck in the world, which I feel like is to its benefit. Some people could argue it's to its detriment as well, because the more your deck can do, the better. But, you know what I'm saying? This is a pretty easy deck for people to get into. It's very easy to play. But it's not too brain dead to get boring after a while. So, yeah. Okay, so throughout this video, I'm just going to be showing replays from my stream over at twitch.tv/038xt, you know what I'm saying? Go drop me a follow, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I've been pretty much playing the deck here, just so we have stuff to talk about in the background. I would say the deck is pretty straightforward. So here's our opening hand right now. We activate Sanctuary, which is going to let us summon 2 tokens. I believe I played 3 of this. So we get Soldier out, we add Afterglow, then we add Expedition to summon Galaxy Photon. This card does nothing on its own, by the way. Typically, the only reason you ever want to get this out is because you want to use it as material for a rank 8. As you can see, our extra deck is pretty much filled with them, barring a few cards, but you know. This is pretty much the main way you're going to be cooking with this deck. So yeah, your main OTK route is always going to be Afterglow, which is this guy right here, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty easy to make, it's just 2 level 8s. But there is a specific way you want to make it, that being Afterglow. So when we have a Galaxy Eyes on the field, you can special summon it from the hand, and then with these 2, we can make Afterglow. And then right here, here's pretty much the OTK. So you swing, activate its effect to gain attack points. Make sure, very important, you always detach Afterglow. And then once you activate Afterglow, you have 2 options here. By the way, number 1, I'm just going to tell you, you can't say no to this effect, ever. If you do, then the effect just doesn't happen, and your Prime Photon will not OTK. It just won't. So always say yeah to it. It will ask you to special summon a Galaxy Eyes from your deck. Normally, it depends, because depending on how you make Prime Photon will depend on whether or not you summon it to the board or you just attach it as a material. If Prime Photon already has a Galaxy Eyes Photon as material, this card specifically, by the way, then it will do its intended damage. If it doesn't, it will only do half damage. So as you can see, I already had the material, so I could summon it to the board. If I didn't, let's say this was like Galaxy Brave or Knight or some shit, then I would have to attach it. But since I didn't, there you go. The only reason I didn't kill is because I was beefy, but yeah. That's pretty much the most simple thing to go through at the moment. The Afterglow route is pretty important because it's the main way you're going to be winning. This deck is really good for farming solo modes or just easy events, by the way. The Afterglow route with Prime Photon is quite literally the easiest and quickest way to win. Okay, so here we have our next match. By the way, you're going to see a common theme here. I'm always going second with this deck. I don't have any going first duels to show you today. But just know, there isn't a whole lot you can do. At most, you can summon a level 8, which you can choose between Photon Lord or number 38. I would go Photon Lord personally, because it's more useful. And Infinity. That's pretty much the best you can do. But yeah, going second is always the way you want to go, because if there's anything this deck can do, it's summon out big boys and swing for game. So, and you can't swing when it's turn 1. So yeah. This right here is pretty much the worst for Galaxy Eyes, because you want stuff in attack mode to swing into, and he's just not giving me that. So I already know going into this that I'm not going to OTK. So we play things a little differently. So we grab Soldier here. Discard. We add Photon. Reveal Photon with Galaxy Brave. This card is, if you reveal a Photon, you can make this card the level of that revealed card. So since this is level 8, it will be a level 8. The other card you can reveal this with is usually like a Photon Vanisher or something to make this a level 4. But yeah. This is just a material card. Then here's the big one right here. This card is so underrated for any Xyz deck, to be fair. Bujin is such a good card. All it needs is 2 monsters with the same level. It's super rare, it's really easy to get. This card's nuts. So if this card is in summon, you can special summon 2 monsters with the same level, 1 from your hand and 1 from your graveyard, but negate their effects, and immediately after this effects resolve, succeed summon using them. And if it exceeds monster, this card points 2 activates an effect, detaching it by detaching material. Target 1 spell or trap and destroy it. So yeah, we mainly care about the first effect though. So in situations like this, where you're going to brick quite a bit with this deck, by the way, just by the nature of it being a high level deck. By high level, I mean like you run a lot of 8s, which can't be normal summon, just stuff like that. But if you can get into situations like this, which by the way, Sanctuary just gets you 2 cards with the same level on the field. So you can just easily go into this. We can grab the Galaxy Eyes here and the Galaxy Knight here and make a Cypher. This is just a steal. He does get rid of it though. Normally that would be the end, but we do have a Monster Reborn in Archetype, which is a Galaxy 0. And then we just rank these 2 into Photon Lord. And I believe we just swing here. Then what we do, we go into full armor. Because I think we play 3 different rank up cards in this deck. Which is basically just cards you can put on top of other Xyz cards. Full armor is 1. Cypher X is 1, and Cypher Blade is 1. Cypher X you're really only ever going to use if you steal something with Cypher, and then you can rank the card that you stole, so that way you keep it, and the opponent doesn't get it back at the end phase. So yeah, we don't actually use Full Armor's effect to pop anything. We just use it as a way to get material on our Zeus. So we had a 4 material Zeus, meaning we get 2 board wipes. So we use 1 there. So we're in a pretty good position right now. Yeah, as you can see, the deck's pretty flexible. Obviously, this isn't the greatest position. Obviously, I'm playing Fluffles, which isn't a meta contender by any means. But, you know, considering the fact that we got interrupted a little bit, I'd say this is pretty okay. And we couldn't OTK that turn either. So now we link into Soul Flare, which isn't the greatest link monster. I actually think this card's pretty bad, but it is needed, so, you know. Normal Galaxy Knight, because we got a Photon and Galaxy on the field. Rank into Prime. Then we rank into Prime, and then we put Cypher Blade on top. So then we detach 1 to pop this. And then, since we just run a bunch of big boys, we can just swing for game right here. So this is more of Photon playing through things and just kind of fixing a brick, which is something the deck is able to do, but you know, more often than not, you don't really want to play like this. You do just want to swing the game. It's a lot easier, a lot quicker, and the success rate is a lot higher. I don't remember what happens in these games, by the way. The first 2 I kind of did because they were the most recent, but after that it's kind of a bit of a blur. But yeah, I do just want to say Galaxy Eyes is pretty fun. Again, there is support coming. Thanks to Photon Hypernova, which is the most recent TCG set, I believe. We're not going to get that in Master Duel for a while, simply because of the nature of how things are released in this game. I think we're set to get the Tillerman stuff next, which, you know, say what you will about that. But yeah, as far as Galaxy Eyes goes, it's not going to be getting anything new for a little bit. We're talking like minimum 3+ months, which is sounds like a long time, but you know, time will fly. When they banned Union Carrier for Sprite, I feel like that really did affect Galaxy Eyes a lot more than you know what I'm saying, I think anyone gave it credit for. Because one anti-brick card that you would run in Galaxy Eyes was Union Carrier. Because it was really easy to make. Photon Sanctuary is such a good card. Like, it enables so much by just resolving. Like, you can pretty much make any Link 2 that the deck makes. You can make Bujin, Soul Flare, or Union Carrier back then. The old thing to do was go, let's say you bricked, right? But you open Sanctuary. You can make Sanctuary. You resolve Sanctuary, sorry. Make Union Carrier. Equip Orbital. Then send Orbital, and then you can unbrick yourself. You can't really do that anymore, but you know. Yeah, here we just go into the OTK again. Right here, I already know that, here's something to talk about though. So I already know Crusadia is going to be a problem because you can only attack into it and it will match the attack of Prime Photon. So the way to get around that, I go for the Soul Flare, I go for the Soldier route in order to go into Infinity. So I discard Special Summon Soldier. But since I don't have another card, but I still have my normal summon, I'm able to do something a little interesting here. So I search for a Wizard instead of a second Soldier. I normal summon that, distribute it, and I grab Expedition. Expedition lets me summon level 5 or above Galaxy or Photon. Actually, is it Galaxy or Photon? Yeah, it is. And then I make another Soldier, then I can go into the Infinity stuff. And from here, it's pretty much a free win. I can resolve this without any worries, negate. It's not destroyed, but we win. And then yeah. So that's a one card discard in Infinity right there that Soldier enables. That the deck enables. And yeah, I don't really see many people talk about that. Not that it really matters. I would say it matters. Because being resourceful is one thing that I feel like decks in this game need a little bit more credit for. And just the fact that you're able to do that to get around the fact that you usually would go -2 for an Infinity. This deck allows you to only go -1, which I feel like is pretty cool. Okay, I don't know how long the video is. Right now I'm just kind of going off. But yeah. Galaxy Eyes is pretty fun. It's pretty simple. One thing though. The deck does have a big issue that I don't really see a lot of people talk about. And as someone who plays the deck a lot, this is something that really bothers me. The deck is comprised of both Photon and Galaxy cards, which are two different archetypes. Konami treats them as separate. You can see this in a lot of decks. There are quite a few decks that do this too, but not to the same level as Photon, in my opinion. Where it becomes really egregious with the issues. One card you can see this in a lot is a Galaxy Brave. It's a Galaxy card. You can reveal one Photon to activate its effect to summon itself. Meaning, in a hand like this where I only have other Galaxy cards alongside it, I can't do anything with it. I need to search for a Photon instead in order for it to be useful, which is what I do here. So the fact that you can brick within archetype cards is really, really weird to me. I find it so strange. Here's a nice little thing you can do, by the way. It's pretty basic. Galaxy Trance is one of that I use. Just pay 2k and you can pretty much just get pretty much any two of what you want. Usually you're going to use Afterglow Galaxy Eyes to go into Prime Photon to just swing the game. Very easy way of doing it. But yeah, the fact that you can in-archetype brick is really weird to me. I forget about one day apiece here, by the way. That's why I didn't do it. That didn't do any damage. The recovery thing to do here is just to rank up and pop, which is what I do there. I can't remember if I go into Cypher Blade. Okay, I do. I pop again. This will activate Rare Jades, which means that everything you see on my field will be gone by the time I end my fitness. But yeah. It is a weird thing. There isn't much you can do about it. When it comes to bricking with this deck, there are cards that you can run to help you. One being Nebula Dragon, which if you have a, you can pretty much use any level 8 in your hand beside, even it. If you have two Nebulas, you can use them both and get a free Dragon rank 8. The only weird thing about it is it locks you into dragons, which is an issue. Because 99% of the main deck is not dragons. So yeah. But that can help you a little bit. Pretty much any rank 8 deck can run this. I think Blue Eyes uses it too. There's also stuff like Galactic Spiral Dragon, which I see people use. I personally don't use it, but you can if you wanted to. That's another thing that could help you. People like to forget about the effect of Photon Blast, by the way. Dumb name aside, it is really good protection for the Archetype. If you don't know what it does, it's just all monsters you control with 2k or more can't be destroyed by card effects, nor can they be targeted. So people usually remember the non-targeting part, but people usually forget about the destruction part. There are so many times where I see people trying to activate Raigeki or some shit, or Lightning Storm, and they only get rid of this and then they just get confused. And I see that quite a bit. Also, it does have an additional effect on top of that. During your opponent's turn, you can detach material, special on the Galaxy Eyes from your graveyard, so that's just a little bit extra. Which I do use to my advantage here to win the game. But yeah. It's a pretty cool little thing you can do there. But yeah, as far as anti-bricking goes, you can run stuff like Nebula Dragon, Galactic Spiral. There might be other generic rank 8s. I know people use Mech Knights as an engine in the deck. I've actually never tried that before, so I can't tell you how good that is. But yeah, there are ways to counteract it. You can also run Trade-In, which is an ultra rare. It's a very expensive thing to do, and I honestly don't really even recommend it. But that is something you can try if you've got the material to, you know what I'm saying, waste on it. But yeah, as far as bricking goes, there are ways around it, but it's a part of the game, innit? You're playing a level 8. You're playing a rank 8 spam deck. Bricking is just part of it. So there's one thing that I feel like would hold people back from playing Galaxy Eyes. That being the price point of the deck. It is pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. If we take a look at our hand right here, Photon Sanctuary is a super rare. Wow, that's the only one actually. But you know, the extra deck is extremely expensive. The only stuff that is below super rare here is Cyber Dragon Nova and I believe Draglubion. So yeah, super and ultra above for a 15 card extra deck. It's pretty expensive, you know. That being said, there is quite a high investment for this deck, which is a big reason why people wouldn't play it, which I understand. You don't want to spend a bunch of resources on a deck that isn't the best thing in the game, which I understand that. But you know, to me, I feel like if you like a deck enough, I feel like it shouldn't really matter to you how much, how expensive it is. Obviously, I understand that a lot of people are free to play in this game, me included, so being resourceful is pretty much above anything else. Which, again, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you how to play the game, how to use your gems, that's entirely up to you. But, you know, it's just a little thing to think about. Me personally, I wouldn't really care. As someone who just likes the archetype enough, I don't really care about, how expensive a deck is. If I really want to play it bad enough, I will make it. There we go. Here's a nice little showcase of number 38 here. You can actually cheat this out with Draglubion, which is this card right here. Keep in mind, you can lock yourself out of this sometimes. If you activate Sanctuary, you can only summon light monsters, which Draglubion is a dark. But yeah, you can detach one material and summon a Hope right here. Most of the time you'll be summoning Numeron, but I don't think I did that at all today. That's pretty much it as far as everything I think I want to talk about. I feel like I talked about everything. If there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments. Obviously, I do play stuff like Astral Kribo to get a rank 8 out pretty easily. It's a 1-card, level 8. It can protect it from battle or your opponent's card effects too, which is pretty crazy. Like, you can have a pretty much indestructible Prime Photon, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I feel like I've pretty much covered everything. Obviously, there are some quick things I want to get out of the way. Number one, I only play one Lightning Storm because I want to play Hyper Galaxy in this deck because it's funny. It's pretty much a tribute, one from each side of the field, especially some of the Galaxy Eyes from anywhere. It's funny. It can actually help out quite a bit too. Again, Photon Sanctuary enables so many things, one of which being Hyper Galaxy targets, because you need a 2k monster of your own to tribute, which Photon Sanctuary gives you two of those. But yeah, if I didn't run that, if I was trying to make this a little bit more competitive, I guess you could say, I would get rid of it for another Lightning Storm. Another thing, Excel Light, it didn't come up, I don't think, but this card is a really big problem card, I feel like. It can get ashed pretty easily, and if it does, if this gets negated in general, it's pretty much, it will cripple you, it will do more damage than good in my opinion. So if you control no monster, especially summon level 4 or lower Photon or Galaxy from the deck, you can only activate once per turn. You cannot normal summon / set the turn you activate this card. Even if this gets negated, you still can't normal summon, meaning it's either you're putting all your eggs into one basket when you use this. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Some people may not even run this because of that risk. It has made me lose games. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you found this informative. And yeah, we do have the support coming in a few months. We're gonna have to wait a little bit because Master Duel is quite behind. But when we get to it, obviously I'll be back here to talk about it again. Hopefully, what I'm saying, this has helped you, what I'm saying? So you can become a Galaxy Eyes master just like that boy Kite Tenjo, you feel me? Fuck Mazar, you know what I'm saying? All my homies hate Mazar, you know what I'm saying? We Tenjo gang, you know what I'm saying? We Galaxy Eyes up in here. But yeah, take care. Like, comment, subscribe. Because, what I'm saying? I'm actually trying to take the YouTube thing a little bit more seriously. Check out my Twitch. I'm live every weekend. Check out my Twitter. And yeah, that's it.